Welcome to Year of Connection, a year-long journey toward becoming whole self-connected. I'm your host, Pauline Shu. Last week we talked about accepting thanks without question. Today we're focusing on giving thanks, whether verbal or written, to ourselves or to others. Expressing gratitude as a way to create, grow, or strengthen connection with others is the topic of today's podcast. The focus this week remains on ourselves, on our own behavior, that is. But it's time to start taking actions with regard to our behavior that will affect the way we speak to others, the way we think about people we know as well as those who might be strangers, and ultimately about the way we connect. Gratitude is a funny thing. We are a society that loves to talk about it. There are inspirational calendars and posters and talk shows about gratitude. There are Facebook posts and memes and comments galore, and sometimes it feels like if I see one more flowery cursive printed canvas about being grateful for what I have, a canvas that costs $39.99, I might add, it's possible that I'm going to end up losing my eyeballs somewhere in the back of my head from rolling them so hard. But even though reminders to give thanks sometimes irritate me when they're attached to material gain, what all this talk about gratitude tells me is not only is it important to us as a people, as a society or a culture, but that it's also a concept that, on the whole, we don't feel or we don't live as deeply and consistently as we'd like to. Hence, the multitude of reminders. Do you ever feel this way? Do you look around you at the cute decorative signs or social media images that talk about gratitude, but wonder whether we're all too busy talking about being thankful that we don't actually have the time to be thankful? I don't think of myself as a person who gets worked up easily. In fact, I perceive myself as mostly a live and let live kind of person. I could be wrong. But either way, you can probably tell that this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. All the focus we have on gratitude, without the corresponding expression of gratitude, really gets to me. And it's precisely because I believe it is the number one day-to-day behavior, or lack thereof, that significantly undermines quality human connection. In fact, Robert Emmons, considered the leading expert on the science of gratitude, once said, "Gratitude is a social emotion. I see it as a relationship-strengthening emotion because it requires us to see how we've been supported and affirmed by other people. It's not just being grateful, but expressing that gratitude that makes us all slow down, think about the person on the other side to whom we are grateful, and recognize that person to see who they are. Being recognized, being seen, is a fundamental requirement for being connected and being connected to. Even as small an action as saying thank you to someone for holding the door for you, for giving you directions, is important because it is shorthand for something so much more significant, and that is the recognition of one soul by another, a salute and a validation of one human's life and consciousness by another's. You might be laughing right now, thinking that it's such a silly idea to imagine that something as simple as saying thanks can have such a deep and complex meaning. But the strongest connections are built on a foundation of the most basic human principles, among which is gratitude. Saying these words, thanks, appreciation, grateful, blessed, out loud and to others as an expression of gratitude for who they are and what they do, creates an instant connection. We want to be appreciated and we want to be recognized. Expressing gratitude goes beyond saying thank you, of course, but if you're looking for somewhere to begin, using these kinds of words face to face, not just through a decorative sign or a social media post, with those who do anything kind for you, is a great place to begin. And in addition, it works for everyone, not just your core connections. But let's say you already say plenty of grateful words and you're still looking for more. I think that's fantastic. There are a couple of ways in which you can expand your reach of gratitude. The first is to go deeper with your core connections. I grew up in the South where writing thank you notes is a part of life. And I love writing those letters of thanks. But it's not just for gifts I get, it's also to friends and loved ones to whom I want to express appreciation simply for being who they are. Those are often the letters, and I'm talking about handwritten letters, not emails, that bring the most joy. The message you send is a combination of the words you choose to write, along with the time that you take to write to that person. In addition, from time to time, I'll simply say to someone I care about, I am so grateful for you. It reinforces the positives of our relationship, and it brings a sense of happiness and closeness to both of us. Keep in mind, though, that it only has this effect if the things I say are honest. I know I've talked about the importance of honesty several times already. It's no less true in this case. Honest exchanges are the bedrock of any strong relationship. But we don't have to think of gratitude as only beneficial to relationships with others. It also helps the connection we have with ourselves. In fact, the second way you can expand your reach of gratitude is in turning your gratitude inward. And I'm not talking about telling yourself that you're so wonderful and you do great things and aren't you the best. I'm saying, what is it about yourself that you are grateful for? What is it in your life, in the lessons you've learned, in the friendships you've made, that fill you with a sense of humility, that fill you with a sense of awe? One way to spend time in your gratitude for these things is to set aside several minutes a day to sit quietly and think about why those things are so important to you and how different your life would be without them. In all these cases, what the expression of gratitude should bring you is healthier, happier connections with strangers, with loved ones, and with yourself. It probably won't happen right away. It might not even happen in a month. But practicing gratitude every day in every way will eventually make it so effortless that you won't need those reminder posts and signs. You'll be living a life of habitual gratitude and meaningful, lasting connection. So that's my charge to you for this week and for every day moving forward. Practice gratitude. Express yourself gratefully to strangers, to loved ones, and to yourself. And on occasion, take the time to consider how that makes you feel. Is it improving your connections? Is it strengthening relationships? Based on research? Based on experience? It really should. If you haven't had a chance to check out this week's show notes on my blog at yearofconnection.com, I've shared some links there about gratitude and the role it plays in a mentally and emotionally healthy life. One of the links is to Robert Emmons' book called Thanks, How Practicing Gratitude Can Make You Happier. I really recommend this read as well as others that can be found on the resources page over on my website. I'll see you next week. In the meantime, I wish you safe travels.